Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Eve, again here, playing Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains. And as always, we have the new character. Unfortunately, I still didn't get him, but we'll get him eventually after some login bonus rewards that I am missing to finally craft the guy. But today we're gonna do a review of the new Mado that came in with the April's Fool event. Maybe an actual joke there. But again, this Mado is blue type, and I think he is extremely broken. So let's take a look at his kit. First of all, the active skill, he inflict all enemies lethal for 2 turns, then deal damage equal to 275% of your attack to all enemies. Lethal enables to trigger any healing effects. So if you play Ayato, you and probably the whole community at least played once with Ayato, they know that lethal does the same effect on Ayato, because this is the same thing here with the not any being able to heal yourself. So this is very good. Not something crazy on damage. I think combat Kaneki is around 285, plus he gets an extra damage there if he applies fear and then does some extra damage there with percentages. So on the damage side, nothing too crazy. Like this healing effect is pretty good, not too shabby, nothing too crazy there. But what good about him is obviously his passive skills. So let's get started. Effective also in a backup state. When an allied CCG character uses an active skill, grant all allied characters a shield equal to 5% of their max HP for 2 turns. Allied CCG characters with a shield reduce damage taken by 15%. Again, fucking great. Even on like 0 stars, he's already a very strong character to just put him up in a backup stage for your CCG team. He's obviously going to be only used in CCG. I don't think you want to use him in any other teams. He doesn't have anything like to implement for other teams for sure, so there's just no point in that. But for CCG players, this is gonna be a gem, a hidden gem that just came out, and you can get like his 0 stars for free basically. So again, 5% of shields, nothing crazy, but remember that obviously all of the CCG teams, for the most part, use the Arma. So light Arma obviously gives another shields, so you are just stacking up even more shields, as well as he already applies this 15% reduction damage after your light Arma applies those shields, as well as like just by applying them, he also gonna be doing that reduction of damage. So this is gonna be huge. Already here you could see how busted this is. Like CCG is very tanky as it is, and now they're even getting more shields as well as more damage reduction. So this is insane. As well as like this means that you want to start first the fight, so it's kind of like pushing you to have more CP than the opponent. So you start first, so you definitely apply the damage reduction first, and like do not get scared that you are gonna get one-shotted there, right? So first start, effective also in a backup state, increase the crit rate of the allied CCG characters by 15% and crit damage by 20%. When the battle starts, if all allied characters are CCG, grant all allied characters a 10% increase to their basic stats for 2 turns. Again, another huge buff. 15% crit rate, damage crit rate as well for 20% is huge. This is a big buff, as well as for example Amon, the red Amon also buffs crits, so to get them together in one team is gonna buff your crits so high, it's gonna be insane. Obviously as well, like red Arma really loves the crit rate, as well as like light Arma, Arma also is very fond of this buff for his crits. Obviously light Arma are doing a little bit less damage there themselves, so they definitely needed need these buffs, as well as like 10% basic stats increase. Obviously, another great addition. First 2 turns, you're gonna be doing 10% more damage, as well as 10% less. You'll take less damage. It's basically buffs everything. So this is a big buff. So you definitely want to get him at least to 1-star here. This is because this is very important. When applying weak, inflict the target a 10% increase in damage taken for 1 turn. So again, not bad. Like, increase in damage, pretty good. We'll take this, right? Star 3, in a backup state, when your turn ends, grant all ally CCG characters prevention. When enemy turn ends, increase your defense by 5% up to 20. So again, in just 4 turns, you're gonna get 20% defense increase after each turn. Again, after, like, this is basically before the after end of a turn, so you're not gonna get it before. For example, if you start first, after you finish, you're not okay, so sorry, like, after you finish the your turn, you're gonna get it. So before the next the enemy team starts, you're gonna already apply this 5% defense increase. So this is huge. And again, just living up to like 2-3 rounds, you're getting this 20%. Almost, at least almost getting there, and on 4th you're gonna get this one. So this is huge. If a character with a prevention, Jesus Christ, receives a debuff and prevention is removed, and the character becomes immune to that debuff, then grant the character a shield equal to 10% of their max HP for 2 turns. Again, pretty huge. Getting another shield for 10%, also very good. So he's very busted for CCG. He's gonna make them much more tankier. Gaining power burst increases damage dealt by 10% for 1 turn. Again, not bad. Pretty good here. Nothing too crazy, right? This is like 2nd and 3rd, 4 stars are not like anything too crazy there. But again, these 3 stars are what's important about this Mado. They're buffing your whole CCG build. If you're interested in what CCG build you might want to use, you probably want to use Sen here. You could try 2 Amons. I'm gonna show you a few versions of him. So imagine, because I don't have Mado, I'm gonna use this Mado here. So imagine this is the new Mado we have. So you could use this build. Because Akira here, this is depending on how much investments you have in characters. Mado is his dollar is obviously very good for doing the debuffs on the enemies, as well as she can do some pretty good damage herself, as well as she's blue type, so she can make Ayato sleep sometimes. So that's already a very good buff. Again, you can go all in on the damage, as well as like trying to go for the CP. You can use 2 Armas plus Amon here for purely trying to kill first turn without any care in the world. Also, there is some types of different teams, like Arma here, with the Sen and Toka here, with the green Toka being buffed. You can also put the Amon here for the buffs. And you can put the Mado in the back here. So this could be your other version. This is basically all set up for the Arima here. You need to get him his charm on this Arima, and then you can obviously use this for your advantage. He's gonna buff your crits. The Mado in the back is gonna buff your crits, and the light Arima is gonna be doing tons of damage, as well as you're just gonna gonna be getting a lot of shields. Again, this is kind of more of a diverse version of CCG, but this is all based on buffing your light Arima here. Again, in this setup, you can like forget about Sen. You can put Mado here, and then just purely go for the full-on CCG like this. As well as there's a version where you can put yourself the red Amon. Obviously, if you have very little investments in one of these carnival characters, again, it's obviously for free-to-plays to have a big amount of them. of investments on them is very hard. So again, this version of Amon could work here as well, like this, and Mado in the back. The new Mado here could also work. Obviously, those two are gonna buff the crits. Sen here, for example, could be buffing again the damage for those two as well as skill level, and these two guys are gonna be doing the damage. Again, there's a lot of variations. You can try different stuff. All of that could work because that Mado will work with any CCG team, as well as we don't have for now like full-on support for CCG. Like now we have the backup Mado there, but for now we don't have a full-on CCG support. So if you just want to purely use a CCG team, you can as well. If you have a very high investments again in this someone, you can try doing something like this, just purely doing the damage without any supports in the team. This is purely damage buff without Akira here, because Akira is more of like a debuffer for the enemy team. So if you want to buff your team, this Amon is gonna work as well. So this is like how you could try to build your teams. Other than this, thanks a lot for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comments. Obviously, tell me what do you think about Mado, how you feel about him. Don't forget to join the Discord, where I always put the announcement for the streams, videos there beforehand, so you will not miss anything. As well as don't forget to subscribe. We're very close to 400 subscribers, and getting there would be huge. So please, I would really appreciate your support. Other than this, have a nice day, and I'll see you on the next one.